So this video is on my personal water footprint and compared to U.S. average. And so starting with the first question, which is was your average water use and how did it compare to the national average? Um, my personal water usage was at 1,746 gallons per day, while compared to the U.S. average, which was 1,802 gallons per day. And so right now I am under the personal water usage at 56 gallons per day, compared to our household, which has 6 people in it. The total amount was at 10,477 gallons per day. So for the three things that were the highest aspects that used a lot of water, the first one that was at the most was my lawn and irrigation that was at 618 gallons of usage per day compared to the US average, which is 72 gallons per day. So that's a lot more um, gallons per day, which can be cut down, which I'll explain later in the video. My second one was kitchen sink usage. Our kitchen sink we use a lot because I like to wash dishes more than using a dishwasher. And I keep the water running while I wash and rinse at the same time. And so my average time was 20 minutes, while the US average was 7 minutes. And so, again, I'll explain how to change that in the near future. The third one was a shower time, which wasn't a lot more. It was actually under a minute, where that at 10 minutes, while the US average was at 11 minutes. But that can be cut down too. Just throw in there as well was my electricity usage. What that was at 33%, and the US average was at 30%. So 3% more than what the average US usage of electricity is. And so, looking at that, as well as looking at the water usage for Utah compared to the US average, we spend a lot more on, especially on irrigation, in our state compared to the US and to our country. Um, for the third question, do you think water use should be a concern to citizens and policymakers in Utah? Yes, I do believe that it should be a very big concern to our policymakers and to every citizen that lives here and resides here, because we are the second driest state in the country, second to Nevada, and our water usage being, which is understandably because our water usage is at 72% for irrigation compared to the US water use, which is at 33% irrigation. Um, that was done in a report by the Geological Survey. And most of the water that's used in the US average is thermoelectric power at 45%, and ours is only at 2%. And so I think that, as well as the Geological Survey report put down, um, are where we sit in the population in Utah at 3 million people per year, and it's projected to be at 5.5 million people by 2050. I think that we really do need to make a change in our water usage so that we can have more of a water supply to that can match with our growing numbers and population and be able to sustain us where we live, and that we won't fall under and be in need of water. As well as we, for the last few years, we've been in a drought as well. So water usage is very big, should be very big and concern for people living here in Utah and in any place that is a desert state as well. Um, for the fourth question, which is how likely are you to make changes to your water consumption habits? Looking back at my personal water usage, especially with my lawn, I would suggest that I would change that to to be more of a water. conservation landscape than grass, as should every other citizen in living in Utah. That would cut down a lot in our water usage and as Utah as a whole, especially in my own personal life as well. It can be really hard because people rather would have grass than um, a desert looking landscaping and more they would rather have more luscious grass looking green and everything. But looking at our water supply and how much usage we have um, per year, we should really take in concern and to really put it into forefront of our minds where we stand and where we can be standing in the near future if we run out of water as well here. um, Before looking at the water footprint and doing the water calculator and everything, as well as looking at the geological survey report done, um, I really didn't know how much water average person uses per day, especially myself. But looking at that now, it really uh, compels me to make changes where for the kitchen sink usage, washing dishes, I can switch to appliances, especially not just dishes, but with clothes and other things. Switch to appliances that are more water efficient and energy efficient. So it can cut down on that water usage and electricity usage. And I would cut down on showers by how I use the water during my time and not spending so much time in the shower. As well as other people, they can turn off the water while that's not needed, and then turn it on when you do need to use it, as well as just cutting down and not spending so much time in the shower. For electricity, with the appliances, energy efficient appliances would look more to how much lights and what are on in the house or what is being used that needs electricity and what time of day kind of like put down when it needs to be on and used and how much lights need to be on as well as appliances at the same time need to be used and just work out a plan where you can just change the habits and become more energy efficient in that. And so that is my video on my water footprint and the Utah and US average water usage and my ideas on how we can make a change to our water conservation as well as water usage. Thank you.